Hi, I'm Johnny MacNeil, and today I'm going to talk to you about the do's and don'ts of when someone comes out to you. Coming out is understood as a step in the process of affirming one's gender identity or sexual orientation through the sharing of this information with others. While the weight and significance of this process can vary depending on the individual, coming out can be challenging and induce apprehension, anxiety, and fear on how this information will be received by others. Being the receiver of this information can be a powerful and meaningful opportunity to both affirm and support the individual. However, it's important to be mindful of our responses and making sure that they're congruent with our intentions. The don'ts. The following are a list of things to avoid when someone comes out to you. When it comes to responding, it's most important to focus on the individual and their experience. Self-centering or making this about yourself detracts from the focus on the individual and shifts the conversation away from the experience of the individual towards your own. While one's intention might be to express unconditional support, saying things like, "I've always known," or "I've been waiting for you to tell me," can undermine the emotional significance of this step and the sense of personal agency one feels in coming to terms with this information and choosing to share it on their own terms. Making assumptions. Making assumptions in the form of projecting your own views or assuming that this information can be shared with others is another response to avoid. While one's intention might be to communicate awareness and understanding, drawing comparisons through things like, "This is just like," or extrapolating conclusions. So this means shifts the focus away from being fully present with the individual in the moment and can create an expectation where the individual feels pressure to clarify, explain, or share more information than they feel comfortable with. Additionally, don't assume that by the individual sharing this information with you, you're at liberty to share this with others. Honor the individual's intention of establishing greater trust and openness in your relationship, and respect the individual's agency in choosing to share this information on their own terms. Finally, it's important to remember that one's coming out is not an invitation for you to inquire or weigh in on their identity or sexual orientation. While one's intention may be greater engagement, this can set an expectation for the individual to clarify, explain, or disclose more than they feel comfortable with. Allow the individual to share as much as they feel comfortable, and avoid making a conversation about addressing your needs, questions, or concerns. Remain focused and present on the individual and their experience in the moment. The do's. Acknowledging, respecting, and supporting. As stated earlier, the most important thing to focus on is the individual and to be fully present with them in the moment. Acknowledge the importance of this step for the individual. Validating and saying things like, "Sharing this takes so much trust," or "I want you to know this information is safe with me," demonstrates both awareness and understanding of the importance of this step for the individual and remains focused on the present and your relationship with them. Respect their own process and journey. Asking things like, "How can I best support you in this process?" or checking in with, "How are you feeling?" ensures that the focus remains on the individual and gives space for them to express their own feelings about the coming out process, who they've chosen to share this information with, and how you can best support them going forward. Appreciation. Statements like, "I really appreciate you sharing this with me," or "Your trust in sharing this with me means so much," focuses on the individual and your relationship with them. It reiterates how important your relationship with the individual is and how this is an opportunity for your relationship to move forward in a more open and connected way. Going forward and providing support in the coming out process. Being an ally. Whether it's in the workplace or social settings, being an ally can take many different forms, from intervening when noticing the use of discriminatory language by colleagues or friends, addressing discriminatory policies in the workplace, or just becoming more mindful of the subtle ways to show support, openness, and acceptance for individuals of all identities are different ways that you can be an ally to the community. Becoming informed. Instead of placing the agency on the individual to address any confusion you have, take the responsibility onto yourself. Resources like PFLAG, the GSA Network, and the National LGBTQ Task Force are all resources that can provide information for you to become more informed, as well as spread awareness through attending rallies and conferences surrounding social justice and LGBTQ-related issues. I hope you've enjoyed this video blog. For more information, check out our website at mytherapynyc.com.